Welcome everybody to Grumpy Old Men, and this is Steve Ross with an E.
Hello.
And Steve's got his own YouTube channel, which is Steve Ross with an E on the end. I've got to keep on saying that.
I don't know. I never have in my whole life until I came here.
That's why nobody's found you until now.
Maybe, yeah. I could have had a career long ago if Dad had left that E off his name.
There you go. So where are we today? We're in a resort, and we are facing the road. We're probably only 20 metres away from the road.
Yeah, so it's going to be loud.
With motorbikes.
We are in the Thai Mueang Boutique Hotel. It's in the heart of our business district, and it's
They're going to have to rename it.
Why?
To Turtle Beach.
Turtle Beach, Turtle
Boutique.
Beach Boutique Hotel. But for now, it's the Thai Mueang. It's probably the most Western accommodation available in Thai Mueang. And it's about, what would you say, a mile from the beach?
I don't even know what a mile is.
Yeah, it's
I'd say it's about 1.6 kilometres.
There you go. And they have bicycles. You can use the bicycles for free if you come here.
It's sort of got a bit of a Peranakan theme.
Yeah.
Old-style Sino-Portuguese.
Yeah, the few places in our business district that have been renovated have been done with an eye to maintaining old, at least elements of the old Sino-Portuguese architecture. And this place, I think, is particularly successful. I think they only have 8 or 10 rooms. All the rooms are very Western. All the rooms are air-conditioned, of course, and laundry and all that stuff. It's all very Western. There's a garden out back for the smokers and a little stream kind of thing that runs through the backyard. And, yeah, you're right in the heart of town, and you're on the main street, or the only street in Thai Mueang. And so, yeah, it's a little loud in the daytime, but at night it's very, very quiet.
Now, one thing, speaking about smoking, speaking about hearing.
Now I want a cigarette.
And we are speaking about aging today. Something we both have experience in.
Done the research.
I've been doing it for 64 years.
Yep.
You've been doing it for 66.
Every single day.
And sometimes there are aspects of it which are not particularly pleasant.
Yes.
I currently, and people haven't known this week, but I've been suffering from quite a debilitation. Debilitation?
Yeah.
And I can only basically see through one eye at the moment. Steve, where are you? Is that you, Steve?
I sat here because I thought that was your good eye.
Sorry?
Yeah, right.
And
what's that, boy?
Yeah, this is my good eye, yes. This eye, it's like, it's not out of focus. It's like looking through a veil of fog. And I've got what's called PCO. So if you've had cataract surgery where they replace the lenses inside your eyes, you've got a 1 in 4 chance of getting PCO.
Wow.
I won the lottery.
Yeah.
Usually you get it in the weeks or months after your surgery. I'm now 4 years post-surgery and I suddenly got it. And they said, is there an annoying American perhaps in Thai Mueang? I said, actually there is.
Yeah,
so they're blaming you on
his
on
blood pressure gets dangerously high on the days we do this video. Yeah.
How is your blood pressure today? Last week it was, 300 over 200 or
Well,
something?
I've established care with, this aging theme. We're really taking this seriously, aren't we? I established care with one of the 2 physicians in private practice on Turtle Beach, Dr. Prayuk. He's a very nice man.
He's a nice guy, isn't he?
He is. And basically what he is he's the front man for his wife's pharmacy. And I don't think he does any more in practice than size you up and write you a prescription, which then go pay my wife. She'll give you these pills. And apparently the heart medication he thought would be good for me is the one his wife sells. And
wow, how convenient.
Yes, and I took it for 2 days. I went back, and my blood, the systolic or diastolic blood pressure was 85. And anything below 90 is considered livable. And so he said, all right, take it for another month. Come back, and we'll see what's what. And the visit and the meds were 600 baht. Which, I got my stitches taken out at the hospital. It was like 60 baht, something like that. So, yeah, it's the wild, wild west. I think they're very unregulated, and you walk in with pale skin, and you pay whatever whim she writes on the slip.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, but 85, I will live literally with an 85 diastolic blood pressure.
In comparison, I have to go to the Bangkok Phuket hospital. So while people are watching this, I'm actually getting zapped by a laser to fix this. Apparently it only takes 5 or 6 seconds. And it costs 25,000 baht.
That's 5,000 baht a second.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I better feel pretty good at the
Yeah,
end of it for that price.
That's Elon Musk money right there.
Sure.
That's TV money, baby.
And they said, oh, you can go up to the local public hospital, but you'll have to wait 6 months. And I thought, I have struggled all this week. People don't know. It's taken me about 6 hours to do the daily program. I get up at 4 a.m. I literally can't see the screen. So I'm reading like this, like that. And then I talk to the camera like that. And then I edited it all together. It's been a pain in the ass.
I'm sorry.
It's all your fault.
Yeah, take a vacation once in a while. Take a sick break.
I'm going to go and live on a beach. That's what I think
Yeah,
I'll do.
you should live on a beach. You'll be much more relaxed.
But the theme today, living old, I've got some interesting articles that I've dug
I'm
up.
all ears.
And I mean, a lot of people, the viewers, will have their own secret recipes to living older, living better. A lot of people couldn't give a shit, and they just destroy their bodies every day and thoroughly enjoy themselves doing it.
Yeah. Live fast, die young, leave a good-looking corpse.
Sure. So this one I thought was interesting, and this one, I'll put them on the screen later, okay? I'll edit them in with my one good eye. This guy,
In post.
super athlete, he's 103, reveals secrets to long and healthy life.
Wow.
So a Thai athlete. And
Look
he
at
was
that guy.
performing.
He's toned, man. Look
Yeah.
at those arms.
Sure.
Yeah. There's no sag there at all.
Bit of a turtle gobbles onto
Turkey
turkey
wing.
arms.
Yeah, well, 103 years old.
So he's from Rayong, and he's just returned from the 22nd Asian Masters Athletic Championships in Clark, Philippines, with no less than 4 gold medals, and he beat all comers in the 101 to 104-year-old age group.
Yeah, Cletus and Jethro beat them both.
Yes, and I wonder if there's a 105 to 110-year-old age group.
And what are the sports? What are they doing? Shuffleboard, cricket,
Seeing through one eye.
checkers. That's what I meant to say. Not
Yeah. So he was born on May the 8th in 1919, the end of the First World War. He's been around a while. He retired 40 years ago, and he was a school teacher. Thought that would have taken it out of you. And he decided to get into fitness and do sports and stuff. And he's been doing weight throwing, and sprinting. So he's been doing pretty well. Now, so asked the secrets of his longevity.
Yeah. Give us the punchline.
So he doesn't smoke a packet of cigarettes today, which might surprise you. And he recently shared his recipe for fitness and longevity, which starts with abstaining from smoking tobacco and drinking alcohol. So
I'm looking at you.
it sort of might work for some people. His diet advice emphasises nutritious choices, favouring boiled and steamed items, especially vegetables and fish, while banning fried foods. So he's sort of doing all the things that are boring but are probably right.
Yeah, you can put a lot of spice on tofu, I guess.
And he's also an ardent nature lover, which could mean anything, who finds contentment in being surrounded by trees, which he credits for maintaining a clear and stress-free mind.
Good for him.
So good for Mr. Mueang, who's 103 years old, a medal winner, 4 times medal winner at the Masters Games, and we wish him well in next year's Masters Games. Maybe we could go in it next year.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, if I am allowed to compete in the 101 to 104-year-old age group, I probably have a shot.
You got 40 years
think.
to go.
At least, no. They have to let me in now for me to have a shot. If I was to wait till I was 101 years old, I wouldn't have a shot. They let me in there now, I can at least silver. Maybe bronze.
Would that be
but
cheating?
not if the people who write the rules say, yes, Steve can come compete in the 101-year-old age group. No,
Well, there you
that's
go.
not cheating. You just have to know who to talk to, But good on this guy, huh?
Yeah.
100 and something, and he's
Mueang.
still...
And I was going to say, he tried to go to the European Masters Championship last year, but there was an insurance for him to get onto a plane, and they wouldn't let him on the plane because he couldn't get health insurance.
To fly, to get on an airplane.
Yeah.
The guys, competing in the hammer throw, but they wouldn't. I worked in a care center in 1991, and we had a 104-year-old woman in there. Greenwood Manor, it was called. We had a 104-year-old woman who was in constant pain. She was curled up in the fetal position in a bed, and she just wouldn't die. She wasn't complimented. She didn't know what was going on. She was deep in delirium, but she was in constant pain. So they gave her opium, raw opium, rectally for that pain. And that was part of my job on the night shift. I would put, there were little pellets about the size of a gumball. And if you've never stuck something up a 104-year-old woman's butt, it's a whole...
You haven't lived.
...thing. You haven't lived. But she would be moaning and groaning and whimpering, and boy, you put that thing in there, and within a minute, she's... and she couldn't say thank you. She couldn't open her eyes. But there was a real solid reaction to the opium taken rectally, because its whole job is to, draw stuff into your bloodstream. And that was something I got paid to do at one time in my life.
The things that you're missing now you're living on the beach.
I know, right? Maybe I should go volunteer at the hospital. And
Sure.
They say, what are your previous qualifications? Well, there was this woman this one time.
Sure. So now we're going to go to perhaps the extreme in living older. Have you ever heard of Bryan Johnson?
No.
Now, I sort of came across Bryan Johnson by a complete fluke. Somebody rang me up one day and said, I've got a great advertiser for your daily news show. They've just opened up this sort of long living clinic in Phuket, and they want to advertise, and perhaps you'd like to come in and perhaps sample some of their products.
Sure.
So I went in there, and there were people all sort of lying on couches with catheters in their... Catheters?
No,
their
IV.
IVs.
Yeah.
And with different potions being dropped in. Most of them Russian people, but these were stem cell type thingies.
Oh,
which
wow.
And they said, it costs 100 zillion baht per thing. I was going, what?
Yeah, it has to. It's hard to get stem cells.
And
they're
then
extremely rare.
The guy who spoke to me, who sort of looked like this, and he was, I think, 86 going on 12. I mean, I don't know. The surgery had gone wrong. And he was trying to tell me about all these magic potions I have to try. And I was thinking, I'm not feeling really comfortable about these people advertising with me. So nothing happened. Yeah. But apparently, Mr. Bryan Johnson was the man behind it.
Oh, okay.
He's some sort of tech guy, but it's what he's been up to that I find most interesting.
Now, maybe somebody in our Phuket audience knows Bryan Johnson.
And I suspect we're probably going to use every euphemism for the word penis in this next story as we go through. So the man's called Bryan Johnson, and I think we're going to be talking about Bryan Johnson's Johnson for most of this program.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We're here all week. Tip your waiter.
And you might like to read the headline there, Steve.
Tech mogul Bryan Johnson undergoes shock therapy on to get, quote, erections of an 18-year-old, end quote. And that's illegal. No, 18, I guess, is legal.
No.
He wants to get the erections of an 18-year-old.
Yes, not a real one.
Stephen King says, I have the heart of a young boy. I keep it in a jar on my desk.
Yes.
He wants the erections of an 18-year-old.
So he's been undergoing this with painful shock therapy on his genitals.
Is there another article?
No. Oh, it gets better. Don't you worry.
Better.
He's a 46-year-old biohacker, hacker probably being the appropriate term there, who spends about $2 million, that's US dollars, a year on various treatments. He said he's also hard at work, it sounds like it, keeping his manhood operating at full capacity for as long as possible.
He's 46 and he's worried about this now? What the hell is happening to you, dude?
Well, he's getting in early.
I guess. Well, he's a mogul. Maybe there's a lot of pressure in his work, and maybe he has problems.
He
I don't
spends
know. It
$2
seems-
million a year
Yeah.
to look after his health. Of course he's going to be healthy. But the pain. Do you want to live through a life of pain? And he gets up early.
Shock therapy on his. That's what Al Qaeda does to prisoners. Why are you paying for that?
And they've got the genitals of an 18-year-old.
Yeah. They keep it in a
They've
jar
got
on their
trauma,
desk.
but yeah. There's this technology. You have a wand and you sit in a chair, and the technician uses the wand and basically shocks your penis through acoustic technology. What, he shouts at you?
Yeah.
Hello!
Wake
there.
up!
So it's a technology that's got a broad range of applications, and it's also used for erectile dysfunction.
Bum bum bum.
Now, this is the guy. He was on a show called The Diary of a CEO, which is a good podcast, by the way, if you're into podcasts. And he's, 48? And he's got that waxy look of a...
Yeah.
I've seen other photos of this guy, and he always puts these photos on Instagram that's meant to make him look really, really young, but I always think he sort of looks a bit odd.
Yeah, he looks like Data. If anybody remembers Star Trek: The Next Generation, the character Data, he looks like he's constructed. He looks very artificial.
So the treatment is painful, he says, describing the pain as a 7 out of 10.
Jesus.
But hey, you're going to have the genitals of an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
I've been shocked by the result, he said. Yeah, I'm now 2 months in. My subjective experiences, I've got my penis has gotten 15 years younger. How would you measure that?
Well, it's impulsive and makes rash decisions. He's cut. He's very trim. He has low body weight.
He spent all day, every day, working on his body and eating the right food.
Okay.
Including, where was this line?
He's keeping data on his erections.
Yes, and he has. He puts this.
Cop. Yes, hello. Cop.
And he has this device that he attaches to his penis at night to measure overnight erections.
Yeah.
So this
okay.
is the life. What we've been missing out on, Steve.
A machine to count my sleeping erections. It's every 45 minutes. I think typically in men, every 45 minutes when we sleep, we get semi-turgid. But yeah, I guess measure that. Why not just pay a secretary to sit next to the bed all night with a steno pad and a pen?
Well, it sounds much more fun.
Yeah, right.
And get this, he takes 111 supplements a day, which he hopes to eventually make all of his male organs, major organs, including his brain, liver, kidney, teeth, skin, hair, penis and rectum, functioning as if they were in the late teens. My rectum's functioning just about as well as it was in my late teens.
I guess, yeah. I mean, that's just the door that opens and closes. The bowel is what you would regulate. But, okay, maybe it snaps shut with a louder click. I don't know.
Click?
Well, or a wet slap. I don't know. I don't... But, I mean, what else? Elasticity is the only metric I can think of to measure the rectum. I don't know what else. Its depth can't be increased, and it's really just a door. It's the, what do they call it? The vault. The rectum is called the vault in the morgue, and you either have in the vault or you do not have in the vault when they do a digital exam. Is this TMI? If you're eating breakfast on a Sunday morning, I'm sorry. Aging, you care. The older you get, the less you care about, what you talk about in public, right?
So a lot of people like to boast about how old they are, and look how good I am for my age. Mm-hmm. It's something that's never particularly concerned me. It might concern me as I get older, but I am what I am. I'm 64, and that's the way it is. Suffering with one eye, anyway. So Pattaya decided they should tell people about how proud they were of the oldest Pattaya foreigner.
Oh, okay.
And how old is this person?
Ooh, I don't know. The guy who owns the bookstore, David Collier, is, I think, in his 70s. I would imagine there's people in their 80s, maybe they're 90. Oh, wow.
So Pattaya's longest foreign resident celebrates her 93rd birthday.
It's a she.
It's a she.
Yeah, take note.
I think she's the only foreigner living in Pattaya.
The only foreign female, perhaps.
Yes, that's what I meant. And there she is. She's looking okay. And
Damn,
look,
she looks great.
look,
She's smoking a cigarette.
she's got a fag in her hand.
Oh, I wanted to be invited to that party.
And
Share butts with a 193-year-old woman.
her name's Ulla Dolan, and she was born in Sweden in 1930. She first visited Thailand in 1959 and has been here ever since.
Holy
That was
crap.
the year I was born.
Holy crap.
Sure. Do you think she can speak Thai?
I'm guessing yes. I'm guessing very much yes.
And a fascinating life. She was married to Eric, a highly qualified mechanical engineer, and the pair lived in India throughout the 1950s. They moved to Thailand in 1959. Eric retired 20 years later but died in 1991.
Wow.
And anyway, she's been living in the same house in Jomtien,
For 25 years.
living next to her daughter. That helps.
Yeah.
Sure. So well done to Ulla. Congratulations on getting to 93.
It says it's interesting. Her daughter is a Thai national, which we assume means citizen. She herself has never apparently gone for Thai citizenship. I think they would have mentioned that, which is an interesting choice. I have friends who've been here 40 years, and they're always talking about, pulling the trigger and going through the testing and everything else and getting Thai citizenship.
Doesn't interest me.
I don't expect to be here long enough to profit from that. But yeah, that's interesting. She has decided not to. That's a long, long time. In Pattaya. There's an odd choice to me. I can't, I know Jomtien's supposed to be like the cool part of Pattaya. But to each their own, I suppose.
Probably a little bit different in 1959.
I bet it was cheaper anyway. I'll
Yeah,
bet,
sure. She's best known as a very keen and successful bridge player, and she manages the occasional game despite macular degeneration, also an eye thing. Let me tell you, this has just been so debilitating having one eye during the week.
I'm sorry, dude.
I need more than sympathy, I need money.
Yeah, cannot help you with that. I'm sorry, dude.
Her birthday dinner, did she do for her 93rd birthday? She had an Indian feast.
Sure.
So lucky she didn't come to Thai Mueang because not a chance of having an Indian feast here.
No, we have roadie,
Or unless you go swimming for about 3,000 kilometres, then you could have an Indian feast.
Yeah. The right time of year, the wind will blow you right there, right to Sri Lanka, man.
So, there's just a few little tidbits about people who
They don't ask her secrets to a long life. They ask the 93-year-old Thai guy. The woman's photographed. There's only one photo of her, and she's got a cigarette in her mouth. What does she drink? Does she smoke? Does she do drugs? What does she exercise? Or did she just pick her grandparents very carefully? Because that's the most important contributor to your health, your grandparents' health.
What about your grandparents' health?
My mother's family is very long-lived. My father's family all died in their 50s of stroke. The only ones I know of, my father and his two parents. My father didn't die. He had a stroke and had to retire from working in his 50s. But stroke is very, very prominent and prevalent in my father's family. My mother's 88, 89. Her father died at 88. And before that, people died young because the Cossacks came and cut off their heads. But as long as we've been in America, the two generations, 80s and 80s, on my mother's side. So if we split the difference between the 50s and the 80s, the 70s or early 70s are probably going to be Steve's Rubicon.
Okay, your Waterloo.
Yeah.
Ulla talked of her early days in the 1960s Pattaya. She moved to Pattaya in the 1960s.
Yeah.
It would have been a wild town.
Oh, man, you go on a buffalo cart. That's how you got there.
When nobody bothered to lock up when going out, and the lack of constant electricity meant people had to buy huge ice box to keep provisions cool. So well done, Ulla. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Ulla, whatever the Swedish is for happy birthday. Suksan wan good.
What's your secrets of living longer, Steve? One packet of cigarettes a day.
Diet and exercise. I avoid both. I've never had any kind of regimen. I have lived an extremely unhealthy life. It is an amazement to me that I am still alive and I don't know, and this good looking. I don't know what to credit except my grandparents on my mother's side were long lived. But I have made every mistake you can make. Pack a day, smoke a pack a day for 50 years, still smoke a pack a day. I eat absolutely anything that hits the table in front of me. I'll tell you what, I have not put soap on my face since the 1980s.
Same here.
Yeah, I had a guy tell me in a dressing room off Broadway, he said, don't ever let soap touch your face.
No.
Well, there was that tone of voice. But it was the theater after all. But he said, if you put shampoo in your hair and you rinse off, that's more soap than you should be putting on your face, just the shampoo coming across your face. He said, water and friction, that's all you need if you're not wearing makeup. And cold cream to take off makeup. Don't use anything else other than cold cream. And I haven't done that. I've been riding the bike since I got here. I think, and people say I look much better than I did. If you go back on my channel and scroll down, I was a big fat dumpling when I got here, and out of breath all the time. And
I think part of your sort of generally healthy demeanour, despite the little interruptions there, is you are much happier.
Yes, yeah, and
more content.
Yeah. All the synonyms. Who's got the Roget's thesaurus? All of the synonyms for happy, content, peaceful, sabayjai. I enjoy this place. I enjoy my life here. Except that guy. Oh, that's the bus to Phuket. That would be my bus if I was going to Phuket today. What was I talking about? Oh, I'm happy here. I think that makes a difference. Sure, again, go back and look at the old videos. I think I look happier. Yeah.
So how
you've been here 2 months now? Are you happier? Are you happier? You're glowing, dude. You're glowing with good health.
Except this through one eye, yeah.
He keeps walking into doorways and stuff.
So I would say, I will be happier. It's just been, just a lot of changes. There's another bus. Where's that one
they're both going to Phuket. Yeah, there's no schedule. You just have to come and stand by the road and wait an hour or 10 minutes. You don't know.
You don't want to sneeze. Oh, there's the bus.
Yeah, there he goes. Oh, God, no. These guys, they get a cut of the fare. They're paid on commissions.
So they'll be watching out.
The ticket takers, the guys who are taking the tickets, they get a cut on tickets. So they want to pick up everybody they can. So, yeah, they'll spot you and pick you up.
There are plenty of old ladies who get picked up every day, and they never come back because they just wanted to go down the next street, and they've been taken to Phuket.
Yeah, and they wander the streets of Phuket town, lonely and forlorn.
So
the little
where's
match
the beach?
girl.
I just have had a lot of things to do to get sort of all my ducks in a row. Speaking of ducks,
I have not said a word.
So there we are.
You've been very, very busy. You haven't had a lot of time to just kick back. You keep working on these houses and looking for more houses, and you haven't just
haven't had time to sort of kick back.
Yeah,
but I don't really want to kick back that much. Just a little bit would be nice.
Yeah, you're not a back kicker. I very much am. I have no guilt at all about spending a whole day binge watching Cowboy Bebop for the third time.
Cowboy
Bebop, one of the maybe the best Japanese anime ever created. And Netflix did a special series last year, 2021, live action, 12 episodes.
This is your guilty pleasure.
Well, they didn't do it very well. They pissed off the fans, the fanboys, and there are parts of it I enjoy and parts I don't. But it was something. Thank you. Those were Falang on a motorcycle, a rented motorcycle. They'll be in the hospital by dinner time.
They were wearing helmets. So.
Yeah, Japanese animation was big in my son and my relationship when he was very young. When you're a divorced dad, you get your son 2 days out of every 2 weeks. We spent a lot of time eating call-out pizza and watching Japanese cartoons. And boy, Cowboy Bebop, I really love that show. So yeah, stick any other show in there. BoJack Horseman, Archer. I like adult animation. And Blue Eye Samurai. And at any rate, my point is, I'm at a point now, I've got a Boontong set languishing. I haven't touched it in weeks. And I'll be very happy to sit there all day and binge. I could be doing that in New Mexico. Why did you come to Thailand just to binge Cowboy Bebop? Because I can look over my left shoulder and there's the Andaman Sea.
And you know it's there.
Yeah, and I can make a cup of coffee and walk 50 paces and be in the sand. And yeah, it's nice where I am.
It is. We're lucky.
And if I go outside and ride the bicycle 20 kilometers to the tin mine and back, that's great. That takes about 3 hours. That's great. If I spend a day in my big chair watching Netflix, that's great too. I have absolutely no guilt about wasting a day. I literally cannot waste a day now. Whatever I do is golden. Whatever I do is perfect because I chose to do that.
And we've got another foreigner, an Australian, to welcome to Turtle Beach from next month.
Rob. I don't know Rob's last name, but Rob is an Australian. He made furniture for many years. He had a factory. He made teak furniture in Indonesia, speaks Indonesian fluently.
Doesn't matter what his name is, you just call him Mate. Mate.
Mite, M-I-T-E.
Doesn't matter if you forget his name.
Mate. G'day. And at any rate, and he's been 12 years in Hawaii and Phuket, and he's just sick of Phuket. He's always dabbled in guitar and drawing. And he's rented a place quite kind of between us, halfway between us.
But on the
second row.
On the unfashionable
He's a block from the wind. And his motorcycle won't rot away in the salt air. But he's going to just kick back and draw.
We won't associate with him much because he is in the second row of houses.
Well, there is that. Yeah, he'll have to approach us on his knees with his head ducked down.
Yeah.
But he's a welcome. He's a welcome addition to the village, and and he found it through watching these videos. So, welcome to Turtle Beach, Rob.
And yes, as we keep on saying, for people that are coming to look for happiness on Turtle Beach, while it suits Steve and it suits me
and Rob,
it may not suit you. In fact, there's a very high probability it won't suit you. Yeah. So don't just assume that you're going to be packing up from wherever you are in the streets of Sydney and moving to Turtle Beach in Thailand and assuming it's going to be what you're looking for.
You know what you need to do first? Go to one of those places where you can rent a sensory deprivation chamber and get in there for half an hour and see how comfortable you are living inside your own head with no stimulation from the outside. Because that's kind of what it's like here. I mean, it's a busy little market town. It's on the main road, as you can hear, from Phuket to Surat Thani, and it's busy and active. But for a Phalang coming here, if you don't have family here, you don't have friends here, you're not a member of the temple here, the evenings can get very quiet and very lonely.
And thank heavens for Netflix.
And thank heavens for Netflix and books and making paper mache sea turtle shells.
Yes, don't even think of coming here unless you've got something to do.
Help me pick up garbage on the beach every single day.
How'd you go yesterday? Oh, this morning.
This morning. The beach is very clean at this point in the year, and I have not figured out what governs that. Some days it's absolutely ankle-deep filthy, and some days it's spick and span. Today it was spick and span. I think I brought back maybe a dozen lighters, and that's it.
This is the conversation I had with Steve at about 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So, hi, Steve.
Oh, yeah. 6:30 in the morning.
How are you, Steve?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's grotesque. I'm a cartoon old man between like 4:30 and 7:30 until I get on the bike or walk on the beach and cough all that shit up.
And the fishmonger was walking past and he was...
Oh, he wanted to sell me a fish.
Of course.
He knows. See, I told him 2 days ago, I gave Chamnan 100 baht. And what I do is Chamnan will go buy a fish, a big, nice, fresh fish, take it home. His wife will cut it in half and cook the two halves. He'll bring me back the tail half, and I'll have that with rice. It'll be very yummy, and then I buy him and his wife a meal. So he buys it from Kunram, this guy that you met this morning. Well, 2 days ago, I gave Chamnan 100 baht. And he came back and said, oh, Kunram's not there. But that evening, I was walking to go eat dinner, and here's Kunram, and he says, hey, you want to buy a fish? I said, well, I gave Chamnan 100 baht. He'll come tomorrow and buy a fish. So what he wanted to tell me this morning was, Chamnan didn't come yesterday and buy a fish. Do you want a fish? I still have a fish for you. It's the same with the sausage lady. I bought sausage for my hermit crabs about 3 days in a row, about 3 months ago, and then I got bored with the hermit crabs, let them go on the beach. And she still, every time I drive by, she waves at me and points at the sausage because I bought them 3 days in a row.
She might be hinting at
She
something.
she wants me to come back. She says, look, I've got the penis of an 18-year-old right here. But at any rate, yeah, you need to be able to entertain yourself if you come here, or come with a partner, I suppose.
And during my my walk this morning, I also was confronted by I'd say about 21, 22-year-old who ran across from the other side of the street, was about 6'2" and about the same wide. And I thought, oh, this is a little bit confronting. He had a big smile on his face, like most Thais.
It's
and I
Thailand,
thought,
yeah.
well, he's either going to stab me or he's going to give me a big kiss. I don't know. So he came up and he pulls a plastic thing out of his pocket with all this green stuff in it. I'm assuming he was offering me vegetables.
I don't know.
And, well, I think I know what it was. Wink, wink.
Oh, broccoli. Okay.
Broccoli.
Yeah, okay. I'm tracking now.
So I thought, gee, 6:30 in the morning, I was trying to tout a packet of green stuff. He thought I was you.
Undoubtedly,
but a
yeah.
much better looking version of.
Yeah, no. Well, perhaps that is
so
true.
the things that happen on your morning walk in Thai Mueang.
Yeah. It's just like Times Square.
So my secrets for living longer. Thanks for asking, Steve.
Yeah, Tim. Hey, how do you stay looking so young?
So interesting that you ask.
Just came to me in a moment. Spontaneous, absolutely spontaneous.
So I do eat generally a good. I try and avoid bacon and sausages and processed meats.
Yeah.
I make sure
So do you.
every day I'll have some vegetables and some fruit.
Okay.
Some days I'm sort of drawing a pretty thin line, but I always eat vegetables and fruit every day. Don't drink, don't smoke, don't use drugs. I've never smoked anything in my life. I've never inhaled a cigarette.
Well, I'm fresh out. Sorry, I can't bum you one. Yeah.
Thanks.
You know what it is I sit there in the evenings in front of the TV and lose track of time, and I'll smoke 4 cigarettes in an hour watching TV.
You've just forgotten,
in the evening. Yeah, it's habit. It's a prop. It's a prop in my hand and in my mouth, and then I wake up the following morning and I'm like at the tar pits in here.
But this guy, what was his name, Bryan Johnson, just seems to be obsessed with sort of staying young. And
Yeah, well,
the older I get, and look, diet's important, of course, more important than some people than others. But I'm thinking it's so much about attitude, keeping yourself busy, keeping happy.
yeah.
Whatever you have to do to keep happy, walking away from stress.
Yeah.
I'm getting very, very good at that as I get older.
Yes.
Something's stressing me out, I just walk away from it.
Stay away from internet arguments.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So this guy, shared a meme that's stupid. Let him have his stupid meme. Steve, so what if half of it's misspelled and unpunctuated? Let it go, Steve.
Yeah, look, I can get very wound into the comment section, and it's very destructive.
Yeah,
and
it's
if
terrible.
people
It's terrible.
want to throw bombs at you, just
Yeah.
let them. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Because at the end of the day, it just doesn't matter.
No.
In
Absolutely
another
not.
20, 30 years, I won't have to worry about any of this, so I'm not going to worry about it now.
No.
So, I think a lot of it is up here. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
So-
I think so. Find your Turtle Beach. It is probably not here, but find a place, find an occupation, find people who make you feel young.
Ooh, I
And,
found Pattaya.
That's fine, as long as I
1959.
don't expect me to visit you there. Yeah, that's interesting. Pattaya, okay, I can understand. You found Pattaya in 1959. Now you're 103 years old. You're not going to look for a new place.
So she's 93.
So she's 93.
Yes.
Even at 93, she's not going to look for a new place. She's going to stay where she is till she dies. I don't think anybody at this time. Well, yeah, picking Pattaya of all the places in Thailand to be your Turtle Beach, I think you're fighting the current. But I have a friend, Matty, who that's his shizzle, man. That's his Turtle Beach. He's happy as a clam doing that, making it rain 20 baht bills on little brown girls, and good on him. Yeah.
So,
I don't think he goes with the Russian hookers. Yeah.
The people who live in Pattaya and love Pattaya, they're very passionate about defending the integrity of their little town.
Yeah.
And the people who don't like Pattaya is just as passionate about dissing the place.
Yeah.
I'm sort of neutral about it. I've been there. Yeah, I get it. But people say, Pattaya is much better than Phuket. I'm like, how could you possibly compare those two places? One is a tropical island with 32 beaches, and the other one's got one beach, sort of, man-made. Yeah. So anyway, we won't get into that. Or we could one day. We could do a whole program. What is better, Pattaya or Phuket?
Turtle Beach.
Yeah.
Turtle Beach. Got them both beat.
Anyway, the Fountain of Youth. What is your Fountain of Youth? Tell us in the comments section.
And Ponce de Leon, if I can just break in, Ponce de Leon, what he went through looking for the literal Fountain of Truth in Florida, in the United States, in the 1500s.
Can we wind up? What is Ponce de Leon?
Ponce de Leon was the reason you know the phrase, the Fountain of Youth. Ponce de Leon was a Spanish conquistador who took like 300 men into the Everglades of Florida, came out with 6, I think. He spent a couple years looking for... No. He was looking for the Fountain of Youth, which was a legend. The Indians had a legend about a spring out of the ground that if you drank from it, like the Holy Grail, you had eternal life. But he's trekking through the Everglades with alligators and mosquitoes and malaria and every other thing and people drowning in quicksand, and they're all dressed in armor. They're dressed in iron armor, slogging through thigh-deep mud, and they just died like flies. But they kept going and kept going because of the promise of the Fountain of Youth. And this guy that we looked at, this tech entrepreneur who's spending all day and $2 million a year working on his physical health, he's willing to put up with anything. He's trekking through the Everglades because that dream of eternal youth,
getting his Johnson shot.
I'm afraid of death. We're all afraid of death. The knowledge of mortality is what separates us from the other mammals, among other things. But we're all afraid of death, and we all approach it different ways. Some people wear amulets, and some people light candles, and some people get delusional, and other people just invest their whole lives in trying to stay healthy.
I throw something into that.
All right.
That I think once I accepted the fact that I was going to die was probably the day that I found clarity and a clear road ahead. Once you just sort of go, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So stop worrying about it.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing you can do about it.
Nope.
You can twist and contort logic any way you like. You can believe in another lifetime, reincarnation, white lights, whatever turns you on. But once you accept the fact that you are going to die, you do find peace.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of an epiphany that I suppose some people have and others don't. But don't worry about it.
Yeah. I don't anymore. Yeah. I should have been dead twice over at the very least. The heart attack I had, it's called the Widowmaker. And I had it twice. And everybody says you're never going to survive the third one. So my death, I think there's a 90% chance that that's what will kill me. And it will be brief, incredibly painful, and over like that. So, yeah, what's the fear?
And you
don't fear the Reaper. Come on, who's going to argue with Blue Oyster Cult, right?
Would have thought after the second one that
you'd quit smoking, wouldn't you?
You would. I don't know.
Oh my God, Tim, you're brilliant. Of course. Now that you mention it, it seems obvious. Quit smoking.
Now I'm saying that very gently and softly.
I know you are.
I don't badger on.
No, you don't. For a non-smoker, you're very free. I know. I reek of tobacco.
No. Being a non-smoker. That's fine. It's the ones who've already quit smoking.
Reform smokers. Yeah. But I know I stink of tobacco, and I sit in your car, and you don't say,
I've
God,
never
you
noticed
stink.
that.
Really? Oh, what?
Oh, God.
Yeah, right?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I sweat tobacco, man. That's...
Anyway, so the Fountain of Youth, that was the topic I brought to the table today.
Yeah.
Over to you.
The Thai Mueang Boutique Hotel is a very nice place to stay. We haven't talked about this yet, have we?
Yes, we have.
Oh, rats.
And why are we pimping out a sort of another boutique hotel in town when I've got a very nice beach house for next door to me?
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, this place is a dump.
It's it's very nice.
She's not listening.
It's a bit cheaper as well. Okay, so we've been badgering on this for 45 minutes. We've pretty much got a show in the can.
All right.
Is there anything you want us to talk about? Anything?
Yeah, we'll write it down, I swear. Next week we'll get to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
You'll write it down.
When's your next... you've had your stitches out. You don't have anything looming?
No. Well,
except good health and happiness.
Yeah, this new blood pressure medication the doctor put me on 2 days ago, he wants me to come in again for a blood pressure check in a month. And the surgeon wants me to go to Phang Nga and check with him after a month, just to make sure it didn't heal crooked and it's not weeping or suppurating. And so that's it. Just at the moment now, it's all maintenance and checkup.
We spoke about Netflix earlier, and your binge watching. Yeah. Did you ever get into The Crown?
Oh God, yes. All I know about Great Britain is what I see on The Crown and Upstairs, Downstairs, and Downton Abbey. Those three shows
very British.
Are all I know about Great Britain. And
not keeping up appearances?
Miss Bouquet. That was
British.
on TV in Iowa in the 70s, so I remember it from the 70s. But no, that and
my mother was Hyacinth Bouquet.
Last of the Summer Wine.
Oh, good stuff.
Yes, Minister. Monty Python, Ab Fab. Oh my God, absolutely fabulous. Genius, utter genius, absolutely fabulous. So I know little dribs and drabs about the UK, but nothing concrete.
So I was going to ask
Dickens,
you,
Shakespeare.
They've just launched the start of season 6 of the Crown.
Have they on Netflix?
So you can binge watch.
Oh, that's something to go home and watch.
Then
Sure.
They've got 4 episodes.
Jolly good.
4 episodes? That's a problem with my eyes. 4 episodes. And there's another 6 episodes coming on December the 15th or something.
We should be up to Lady Diana's death.
Well, so the first 4 episodes are all about...
Yeah, it'd have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, no spoiler. I mean, we sort of know what's going to happen. But 4 episodes drag out a period of about 4 or 5 weeks into the whole 4 episodes. It starts off with the Mercedes entering the tunnel. And then it sort of goes about 4 weeks before. Yeah. And it's a bit like watching the Titanic. I was thinking, for God's sake, just sink. I mean, I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
sink
it's
already.
Just going on and on and on. And it was a little bit soap opera-ish, a bit more like I think the problem with The Crown is it used to be historical documentation and showing us a bit of a sort of a peep into what everything sort of looked like in colour and how people might have acted. But now all the people in the show are in sort of living history.
Yeah.
We know the real ones.
Yeah.
Or in Princess Diana's case, knew her. Yeah. It's got a little bit soap opera-ish.
Well, it has gotten a bit tawdry. The first season was about this beautiful 25-year-old woman who had the weight of a kingdom placed upon her shoulders and made sacrifices in her family life and her personal life to serve the nation and ended up being a revered icon. And now we got a story about 2 people in a bad marriage and they're philandering and they're messing around, and it's very much a modern soap opera, tawdry.
I think you're going to think that it's jumped the shark, to use your term.
Probably. Yeah. It was something, like you said, it was something sort of a glimpse into magnificence. It was a fairy tale story of this young princess who achieves the throne, and what do you do with it? A literal historic Game of Thrones. And now it's just something from page 3. It's well, I haven't seen it, but the story of Lady Di and King Charles is a really it's 2 people behaving very badly. One of them behaving much worse than the other one, I think, in my lights. But yeah, I'm
agree
still
with you.
going to watch it for the clothes, the jewelry, the
And
cars, the houses.
That
yeah.
was fantastic.
Yeah,
the
it
whole
always is, yeah.
look is, and
Yeah.
the woman, Elizabeth, something, can't remember her name, but the lady who plays Princess Diana is amazing.
Yeah.
And look, the acting generally is top notch. The cinematography, the editing, the music, the whole way it's put together. But it just, there's one, I'm not even going to do a spoiler, but it just, one part of it that I went, really? So you can watch that.
Well, and
You've got 4 episodes to watch tonight. There you go.
Living where we do, the idea of royalty being portrayed at all, living royalty being portrayed in a Netflix series, warts and all, and you can argue, well, it's not historically accurate. At least it exists. At least the freedom is there to make a show about one of the wealthiest families in the world.
Based on real events, based on real characters.
Yeah, I'm sure they did, because we all were reading the newspapers when all that was happening. Here, no, oh my God, you couldn't get an audience for it, first of all, but you never could get it made. It's the idea of royalty here is such that they're demigods. People light candles and incense to photos of dead kings.
Do you think things are changing, however?
God, I hope so.
I tell you what, I used to go
Well, here we are.
I
mean,
used to. I can't anymore because I live here in Thai Mueang, where there isn't
You're getting better at that.
current. Thank you. There isn't a current open cinema, but I used to go to the cinema at least once a week because I love film.
Yeah.
Next week's topic should be the death of film. Anyway, that's another topic. And of course, in the days past, when you used to go to the cinema, you stand up at the start and they play the royal anthem.
Yes.
And everybody stands up and they bow their head and then sit down again. These days, when the royal anthem comes on, most people don't stand up anymore. And if they don't stand up, I'm not going to stand up because I'll look silly.
Yeah, you're trying too hard, Phang.
So we've got a cinema here, which we should talk about one day here in Turtle Beach, which has been closed for, 20, 30 years?
You know,
a long time.
The last movie was 1991. The posters are still up from the last movie.
30 years.
It was a Nick Cage movie. Was it Gone in 60 Seconds? I think it's Gone in 60 Seconds.
Gone in 30 years.
And and those posters have been up there. And of course, all the warm colors have been bled out of them by the sun. They're all blue, shades of blue.
Oh, they're still there.
Yes, they're still there behind
wonderful.
glass. They're behind in the display cases.
Amazing.
So I assume, and that movie was 91. I assume that was the last movie shown there. And what that building's like inside, I don't know. It might be, someday it could be a community theater. Someday it could be a little art house, a film art house for classic films and new independent features.
I know the opening movie on the freshly renovated and reopened Turtle Beach will put on The King and I.
Yeah, sure. That'll work.
That'd be great.
Yeah. But,
classic musical.
It is a classic musical, and it paints this country in such a sympathetic light.
All filmed in a soundstage in Burbank somewhere, I suppose.
But it gave the world Jim Thompson. The Broadway play gave the world Jim Thompson, so there you go. His Majesty King Rama VI translated Hamlet and The Merchant of Venice into Thai. And I've always thought selected scenes with local actors in Thai, selected scenes. And if we found a Phang that wanted to get up and give a couple soliloquies in English, that could be done too. But I think, a local arts community and local arts life, a life of the arts here is not out of reach. There's enough empty real estate that you could find space for it. There's enough people who would donate their time. And people here are so bored that they would come see anything you put on,
So it's for Thais and for foreigners?
Well, there's only about a dozen of us foreigners here, so it would have to be for Thais. It would have to. That's why I say do the plays done in Thai, the Shakespeare that's translated into Thai.
Stuff in English to attract foreigners to come and.
Sure, I think even if it was all in Thai, all dozen of us would show up on a Friday night. What else are you going to do in Thai Mueang?
We could put tents in your
block
tents
next door. Tents next to my house. Yeah, we'll have
which
a
you
rave.
spoke about.
Yeah, we'll have a Koh Phangan style rave weekend on Turtle Beach.
They could all come into your house and watch The Crown on Netflix.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And that,
Take
by the way,
X and watch The Crown.
is the topic on Steve Ross's very own vlog, and it's on Steve Ross with an E. That's the name of the channel. By the way, there's links in the description, as you know, for Steve's merchandise. What have you been putting together this week? More turtles?
Yeah, I'm really into the turtle shells, the paper mache turtle shells. Unfortunately, they're paper mache, and I've been writing company names. Gave some to the coffee shop, Makai Coffee Shop, the art stores where I buy my art material. I'll decorate, they're about yay big, a styrofoam turtle shell, paint it up and write the name of their business on it, and they display it in their front room. They're all very pleased to get it. But some of them want to hang them outside, so I've been trying to seal them with polyurethane.
Mine are outside.
And the polyurethane makes the paint run. The paint that I'm using, I'm buying everything here. It's poster paint for children to do school projects. And I need to buy either acrylic or oil paint, which is sold in Phuket, but it's very, very expensive. And so that's what I've been doing. Because we've had sun this week. I actually have to get home and get them inside before it rains. But yeah, it's been tortoise shells this week, and I have ignored the Boontong set, the shop house set, because it's so much work done already, and there's so much work left to go. And it's just much more fun to make these turtle shells and paint them up and give them to people as gifts. And so that's what I've been doing.
So by the time people are watching this, I would have had a laser pointed at my eye for 5 or 6 seconds. So I've either got a hole in my head, or I've got the eyesight in my right eye back again.
Army hearties!
I might be back next week with an eye patch. That would
betcha.
be very cool.
Yeah. You know why pirates wore eye patches?
Is this a joke or
No. It's something I heard it on PBS or in a documentary or whatever.
Right.
That when you board a ship, aggressively, when you're swinging a cutlass, and you chase a man below decks, you want to be able to see down there. It's very dim. So they would cover one eye when they came on board, and then if they had to go below decks, which you would have to kill everybody on board, they would take that off and look through this eye, and this eye would already be accustomed to the dark.
Oh, I see.
How much truth is in that, I don't know. The things you hear on TV, right?
Yeah. Don't believe a thing you see or hear on YouTube. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Tim. I enjoy the heck out of this. Thank you for inviting me. I very much appreciate it.
So we've solved the fountain of youth.
Yeah.
You don't have to get into a ship, cross the Pacific Ocean, and kill a whole lot of Indians.
No. And we've told you how to do it. Now it's on you.
Yes.
If you die younger than 93, that's on you, dude. We did our part.
Don't complain to us. No.
Nope.
But we have come to you from the Thai Mueang Boutique Hotel.
Thai Mueang, the house of or home of.
And you could probably find it on bookings.com.
Oh, yeah, Google Earth, whatever.
Along with the Bonneville Beach House. Link in the description, by the way. And if you don't think I'm not going to use my channel to pimp out my own business,
hell yeah,
you'd be very wrong.
Hell yeah.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
And we hope you have a great rest of your weekend or whenever you're watching this. And we'll see you back on the daily news program for TNT on Monday. See you later.
I watch it every day. Love you.